Today we are going to dive deep into The Power of Caring by Dr. Tony Nader. This book is packed with powerful lessons. Lessons on caring. Lessons on awareness. Lessons on connection. Lessons that can help you live a life that feels full. A life that feels meaningful. This is one of the deepest books on understanding why we care, and how caring shapes everything around us. I cannot wait to explore it with all of you. We are going to break this book down through 4 big questions. Questions that Dr. Nader asks again and again throughout the book. What is the true meaning of caring? And why should we care at all? How do we care for others without burning ourselves out? When does caring turn into control? And how does caring grow beyond ourselves, shaping the world around us? So let us dive in. The Power of Caring by Dr. Tony Nader. Chapter 1. What does it mean to care? Let us start with a simple question. What does it truly mean to care? Take a moment. Think about it. Is caring just a feeling? Something that comes and goes? Or is caring something deeper? According to Dr. Nader, caring is not just an emotion. It is not something small. Not something we simply feel and then forget. Caring is a connection. A real connection. Between you and another person. Between you and life itself. Think about that for a second. When you truly care about someone, you are not just feeling something inside your own head. You are connecting, reaching out, touching another human being. This is a powerful idea, because it means caring is not separate from us. Caring is part of who we are. It is woven into our very nature. Now let us talk about something we have all said. At some point in life we have said, I don't care. Maybe you said it this week. Maybe you said it today. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself what is really behind those words? I don't care. On the surface, this sounds simple. It sounds like indifference. But dig a little deeper. Sometimes, I don't care is not really about not caring. Sometimes it is exhaustion speaking. You cared so much for so long that you have nothing left to give. Sometimes it is frustration speaking. You cared and cared and cared and nothing changed. So you gave up in protest. And sometimes it is protection speaking. Caring felt painful before. So now you build a wall. You tell yourself, I don't care, just to feel safe. Isn't that interesting? The very phrase we use to sound indifferent is often hiding deep emotion underneath. So let me ask you something. The next time you say, I don't care, will you pause? Will you ask yourself, is this really true? Or am I just tired? Am I just hurt? Am I just overwhelmed? Because here is the truth. Most people who say, I don't care, actually care deeply. They are just worn out. And this brings us to something important. If caring can exhaust us, and caring can hurt us, why should we care at all? This is one of the biggest questions in this entire book. And here is Dr. Nader's answer. Caring is the starting point. The starting point of a better life. Not a burden. Not a weakness. A starting point. Think about your own life for a moment. Think about the best moments you have ever experienced. Chances are, most of them involve caring in some way. Caring about a person you love. Caring about a goal you worked hard for. Caring about a cause bigger than yourself. Now think about the emptiest moments. The moments that felt hollow, meaningless. Chances are those moments involved a lack of caring. Numbness. Disconnection. Nothing to hold on to. Do you see the pattern here? Caring is not the problem in our lives. Caring done wrong, without balance, without boundaries, that is the problem. But caring itself? Caring at its core? It is one of the most powerful sources of meaning we have. So here is a question for you. What is one thing in your life that you truly deeply care about? Take a second. Really think about it. Maybe it is a person. Maybe it is a dream. Maybe it is a purpose you have not fully lived yet. Hold on to that thought, because we are going to come back to it. Now let us bring this together. Caring is not just a fleeting emotion. Caring is a connection, a bridge between you and the world around you. When we say, "I don't care," we are often not telling the truth. We are tired. We are hurt. We are protecting ourselves. And underneath the exhaustion, there is often still a person who deeply cares. Caring is not a weakness. Caring is the starting point of a life that feels full, a life that feels connected, a life that feels meaningful. This is where the book truly begins. Understanding why we care. Understanding why caring matters so much. But here is where it gets even more interesting. Because caring without balance can break you. Caring too much without limits can lead straight into exhaustion, straight into burnout. So how do we care deeply without losing ourselves in the process? That is exactly what we are moving into next. In the next chapter, we are going to explore something so many of us struggle with. How do we care for others without burning ourselves out? Stay with me, because this next part might just change how you see caring forever. Chapter 2. The Neuroscience of Caring. Let us move deeper now. Deeper into the brain itself. Because caring is not just an idea. It is not just a feeling floating in the air. Caring has a home. A physical home. Inside your brain. Inside your nervous system. Let us explore this together. Dr. Nader is not just a philosopher. He is a neuroscientist. He has spent years studying the brain, studying consciousness, studying how our biology shapes our experience. And what he has found is fascinating. Caring is not just a thought that appears out of nowhere. Caring is built into the wiring of your brain. Think about that for a moment. When you see someone you love in pain, your brain reacts. It does not just observe. It does not just record information like a camera. It responds. It activates. It feels. This happens because of specific systems inside your brain. Systems designed to connect you to other people. Your nervous system is not built for isolation. It is built for connection. Think about a newborn baby for a moment. A baby cannot survive alone. Not for even a single day. A baby needs care, needs touch, needs someone to respond to its cries. And here is something remarkable. The baby's brain and the caregiver's brain, they actually sync up together. Heart rates can align. Breathing patterns can align. Even brain waves can align. This is not poetry. This is not metaphor. This is real, measurable biology. Caring quite literally connects two nervous systems together. Now let us go a little deeper into consciousness itself. Dr. Nader often speaks about consciousness as something far bigger than just brain activity. He suggests that consciousness is not just produced by the brain. Instead, the brain may act more like a receiver, like a radio tuning into a signal that already exists. This is a big idea. So let us slow down for a moment. If consciousness is bigger than just our individual brain, then maybe caring is bigger too. Maybe caring is not just a private, personal experience. Maybe caring connects us to something much larger, something shared, something universal. Does that change how you think about caring? Now, here is a question worth sitting with. Why would caring be built into our biology in the first place? Think about survival for a moment. Humans did not survive because we were the strongest animals. We did not survive because we were the fastest. We survived because we cared for each other. Parents cared for children. Communities cared for the sick. Groups cared for the weak and the vulnerable. Caring was not a luxury. Caring was survival itself. This means caring is not some modern invention. Caring is ancient. Caring is written into our very design. It runs through our nervous system. It runs through our biology. It runs through millions of years of human history. So, when you feel a strong urge to care for someone, you are not being weak. You are not being too sensitive. You are simply being human. You are expressing one of the deepest, most ancient parts of who you are. Now let us bring science and consciousness together for a moment. Your brain allows caring to be felt. Your nervous system allows caring to connect you to others. And consciousness itself may be the deeper thread that ties all of it together. This means caring is not just in your head. Caring is not just in your heart. Caring may be in the very fabric of who you are as a conscious being. Let me ask you something. Have you ever cared for someone so deeply that you felt it in your body? A tightness in your chest, a warmth in your heart, even a physical urge to help, to hold, to protect. That is not just imagination. That is your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Now, here is where this understanding becomes powerful. If caring is biological, if caring is tied to survival, then caring is not something we should try to eliminate from our lives. Caring is not the enemy. But here is the important twist. Just because caring is natural, it does not mean it always feels easy. In fact, this exact same biological wiring that connects us so deeply to others can also exhaust us, can also overwhelm us, can also burn us out completely. So here is a question to carry forward. If caring is built into our biology, why does it so often leave us feeling drained? Why do so many caring people end up feeling empty? That is exactly where we are headed next. In the next chapter, we are going to explore one of the most painful patterns so many caring people experience: burnout. We are going to understand why giving so much of ourselves can leave us feeling completely depleted. And more importantly, we are going to start uncovering what we can do about it. Stay with me, because understanding your own biology is the first step toward protecting it. Chapter 3: Why We Burn Out from Caring. Now let us talk about something many of you already know too well. Burnout. That heavy, empty feeling. That feeling of having nothing left to give. If you have ever felt this way, you are not alone. Let us understand why this happens. Caring, as we learned, is natural. Caring is built into who we are. But here is the problem. Caring without limits, without boundaries, can slowly turn into something very different. It can turn into overwhelm. Let us walk through how this happens. Imagine someone who cares deeply. Someone who always shows up. Someone who always says yes. At first, this feels good. It feels meaningful. It feels like purpose. But slowly something shifts. This person starts giving more and more time, energy, emotional support. They give it to their partner. They give it to their children. They give it to their coworkers. They give it to their friends. And somewhere along the way, they stop giving it to themselves. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. And slowly exhaustion sets in. Not just physical tiredness, a deeper kind of tiredness, an emotional emptiness, a sense of being stretched too thin. This is overwhelm. And overwhelm, if it continues, often leads to something else. Withdrawal. Here is how withdrawal usually looks. The same person who once cared so deeply starts pulling away. They stop answering messages. They stop checking in. They stop showing up the way they used to. From the outside, this can look like they stopped caring. But that is not what is really happening. What is really happening is protection. Their mind and body are trying to protect them from complete collapse. Withdrawal is often not a lack of caring. Withdrawal is often a sign of caring too much for too long without any support. Now let us talk about boundaries. This word gets used a lot, but let us really understand what it means. A boundary is not a wall. A boundary is not selfishness. A boundary is simply a limit that protects your ability to keep caring in a healthy way. Without boundaries, caring becomes dangerous. Here is why. When you care without any limits, you start saying yes to everything. Yes to every request. Yes to every demand on your time. Slowly you lose your own space, your own rest, your own needs. And when your own needs are constantly ignored, resentment starts to grow. This is important, so let us slow down here. Resentment does not appear overnight. It builds slowly, quietly, underneath the surface. You keep giving, you keep helping, you keep showing up. But inside, a small voice starts to whisper, "What about me? When is it my turn?" If this voice is ignored long enough, it grows louder and louder, until eventually caring itself starts to feel like a burden. Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine a mother, we will call her Amina. Amina loves her family deeply. She wakes up early every single day. She prepares meals. She manages the house. She helps with homework. She listens to everyone's problems. At work, she is the same way. She takes on extra tasks. She helps her coworkers whenever they ask. For years, Amina tells herself, this is just what caring people do. But slowly something changes. Amina starts feeling tired all the time. Not just physically tired. Tired in her soul. She starts snapping at small things. She starts feeling irritated by requests she once handled easily. Deep down, she feels guilty for feeling this way. I should not be this tired. I should not be this frustrated. I care about these people. But here is the truth. Amina is not failing. Amina is simply experiencing what happens when caring has no boundaries. She gave and gave and gave. But she never refilled her own cup. This pattern is incredibly common. Teachers experience this. Nurses experience this. Parents experience this. Friends experience this. Even leaders and caregivers of every kind experience this. Anyone who cares deeply is at risk of this exact same pattern. Overwhelm, withdrawal, resentment, burnout. Now, here is a question worth asking yourself. Have you ever felt this exact pattern in your own life? Have you ever given so much to others that you had nothing left for yourself? If you have, please hear this clearly. This does not mean you care too much. This means you cared without protection, without limits, without balance. And this is an important distinction. Because the answer is not to stop caring. The answer is not to become cold, or distant, or indifferent. The answer is learning how to care differently, how to care with boundaries, how to care without losing yourself in the process. So, here is a question to carry forward with you. What would it look like if you cared for others while also caring for yourself? What would change in your life? That is exactly what we are going to explore next. In the next chapter, we are going to talk about something so many caring people forget. Caring for yourself first. Not as selfishness, not as guilt, but as the very foundation that allows you to keep caring for others in a healthy, sustainable way. Stay with me, because this next chapter might just change how you care forever. Chapter 4. Caring for yourself first. Let us begin with a belief that many of us carry. A belief that says, taking care of myself is selfish. Have you ever felt this way? Have you ever felt guilty for resting? Guilty for saying no? Guilty for putting your own needs first? If you have, this chapter is for you. Let us challenge this belief together. Because here is the truth. Self-care is not selfishness. Self-care is necessity. Let us understand why. Think about a simple image. Imagine a cup that you pour from every single day. You pour into your children. You pour into your partner. You pour into your friends. You pour into your work. But what happens when a cup keeps pouring without ever being refilled? Eventually it becomes empty. And an empty cup cannot pour anything at all. This is exactly what happens to us as human beings. We cannot keep giving endlessly without refilling ourselves. This is not a nice suggestion. This is not an optional luxury. This is a basic law of human energy. So, let us reframe something important. When you rest, you are not being lazy. When you say no, you are not being unkind. When you take time for yourself, you are not abandoning others. You are refilling your cup so that you can keep showing up, keep caring, keep giving in a way that is sustainable. Now let us talk about something central to Dr. Nader's work. Transcendental meditation. Dr. Nader has spent decades studying and practicing this technique. Let us understand in simple terms what it offers. Transcendental meditation is a practice of deep rest. Not just physical rest. A much deeper kind of rest. A rest that reaches the mind itself. During this practice, the mind settles down. Thoughts become quiet. And a state of inner stillness begins to emerge. This might sound simple, but its effects can be profound. Because here is an important truth. When your mind is constantly busy, constantly reacting, constantly overwhelmed, your ability to care well for others becomes limited. But when your mind finds moments of stillness, something shifts. You become calmer, clearer, more present, and from this place of inner calm your caring becomes stronger, not weaker. This is a key insight from Dr. Nader's work. Inner stillness does not reduce your caring. Inner stillness increases your capacity to care. Think of it this way. A calm lake can reflect a clear image. A lake full of waves and turbulence reflects nothing clearly. Our minds work the same way. A calm mind can see others clearly, can respond with patience, can offer real presence. A chaotic mind struggles to offer any of this. So, when you take time for stillness, for meditation, for quiet, you are not running away from your responsibilities. You are preparing yourself to meet them with greater strength. Now you do not need years of practice to begin. Even small moments of stillness can help. A few minutes of quiet breathing. A few minutes of sitting in silence. A few minutes away from noise and screens. These small moments add up. They become tiny deposits into your own inner reserve. Now let us talk about something very practical. Dr. Nader offers several reset tools, simple practices designed to restore your energy. Let us walk through a few of these. The first is the pause. Throughout your day, take small pauses. Even 30 seconds. Stop. Breathe. Notice how you feel. This simple pause interrupts the constant rushing pattern that leads to burnout. The second is quiet time without stimulation. This means no phone, no screens, no noise. Just a few minutes of simple stillness. This gives your nervous system a chance to settle. The third is checking in with your own needs. Ask yourself simple questions throughout the day. Am I tired? Am I hungry? Do I need a break right now? This might sound small, but most of us ignore these signals constantly. Learning to notice them is a powerful first step. The fourth is releasing guilt around rest. This one is especially important. Many caring people feel guilty the moment they slow down. But remember the image of the cup. Rest is not laziness. Rest is refilling. And refilling allows you to keep showing up for others. Now let me ask you something. Think about your own life for a moment. When was the last time you truly rested? Not scrolling on your phone. Not multitasking. Not half-resting while your mind stayed busy. A real deep rest. If it has been a while, that is important information. It may mean your cup is running low. Here is something powerful to remember. Caring for yourself is not the opposite of caring for others. Caring for yourself is what makes caring for others possible. A tired, depleted person cannot offer their best care. But a person who is rested, calm, restored, can offer real presence, real patience, real lasting care. So, here is a small challenge for you. Today or tomorrow, find just 5 minutes. 5 minutes of quiet. 5 minutes without noise. 5 minutes just for you. It does not need to be complicated. Just sit, breathe, be still, and notice how it feels. Now let us bring this chapter together. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is the foundation that allows you to care for everyone else in your life. Stillness does not weaken your caring. Stillness strengthens it. And small, simple tools, pausing, resting, checking in, releasing guilt, these small tools can restore your energy day after day. But here is an important question to carry forward. What happens when caring for others starts crossing a different kind of line? What happens when caring turns into something else entirely? Something that no longer feels like love, but instead feels like control? That is exactly what we are going to explore next. In the next chapter, we are going to talk about one of the most important boundaries in caring, the line between caring and controlling. Stay with me, because understanding this difference could transform every relationship in your life. Chapter 5. When caring becomes control. Let us begin this chapter with a question that might feel uncomfortable. Have you ever cared for someone so much that you tried to control their choices? Take a moment. Really think about this. Maybe you did not call it control. Maybe you called it love. Maybe you called it protection. But somewhere along the way, did your caring start to feel like pressure? This chapter explores one of the most delicate lines in all human relationship. The line between caring and controlling. Let us walk through this carefully. Caring at its purest wants one thing, the well-being of another person. Controlling at its core wants something different. Controlling wants an outcome. At first, these two things can look almost identical. A parent who cares deeply about their child's future wants good things for them. A friend who cares about someone's health wants them to feel better. A partner who cares about the relationship wants things to work out. These desires sound completely reasonable. So, where does the line begin to blur? Let us look closer. Caring respects another person's freedom. Controlling tries to remove it. Caring says, I trust you to make your own choice. Controlling says, I know what is best. Just listen to me. Caring offers support. Controlling offers conditions. Do you see the difference? It is subtle, but it is incredibly important. Let us look at a simple example. Imagine a mother whose adult son wants to change careers. He wants to leave a stable job. He wants to pursue something less secure, something he feels passionate about. The mother feels afraid. She worries about his future, about money, about stability. Now, here is where the path can go two directions. In one direction, the mother says, I am worried about this decision, but I trust you to make the right choice for your life. I am here to support you. This is caring. In the other direction, the mother says, you cannot do this. I will not support this decision. You must stay in your current job. This may still come from love. It may still come from real fear. But this is control. The intention behind both may be exactly the same. Deep love, deep concern, deep desire for someone's well-being. But the way this care gets expressed makes all the difference. Now let us ask an important question. Why does caring sometimes turn into control? Often it comes from fear. Fear that something bad will happen. Fear of losing someone. Fear of watching someone we love struggle or suffer. This fear is completely human, completely understandable. But when fear drives our caring, we often try to control the outcome. We think, if I can just control this situation, I can prevent the pain I am afraid of. But here is the difficult truth. Real caring cannot guarantee outcomes. Real caring cannot protect someone from every struggle, from every mistake, from every difficult chapter of their own life. And when we try to force that guarantee through control, we often cause a different kind of pain. We take away someone's freedom. We take away their ability to learn, to grow, to make their own choices and their own mistake. Let us think about this from the other side for a moment. Have you ever been on the receiving end of controlling care? Maybe a parent who never let you make your own choices. Maybe a partner who needed to know everything you were doing. Maybe a friend who made you feel guilty for choosing a different path than they wanted. How did that feel? Often it does not feel like love. It feels heavy, suffocating, even disrespectful, even when the other person truly cared about you. This shows us something important. Good intentions are not enough. Caring must also respect freedom. Now let us talk about boundaries, because boundaries are exactly what allow us to care without controlling. A healthy boundary sounds something like this. I care about you. I am worried about this choice, but this is your life and your decision. I will support you either way. Notice what this does. It expresses real concern, but it also respects the other person's freedom. This is the balance we are looking for. Boundaries are not walls that block compassion. Boundaries are structures that allow compassion to be expressed in a healthy way. Without boundaries, caring can slide into control. Without compassion, boundaries can turn into coldness. We need both together. Let us look at another example. Imagine a friend named Bilal. Bilal's close friend is going through a difficult breakup. Bilal cares deeply. He wants to help. At first, Bilal listens. He offers support. He checks in regularly. But slowly Bilal starts doing more. He starts telling his friend exactly what to do. He starts getting frustrated when his friend does not follow his advice. He starts feeling almost offended when his friend makes different choices than what Bilal suggested. Without realizing it, Bilal's caring has shifted. It has moved from support into control. Bilal is no longer just present for his friend. Bilal is now trying to manage his friend's decisions. This is an easy pattern to fall into, especially when we care deeply. The solution is not to care less. The solution is to notice this shift when it happens, to ask ourselves honestly, am I supporting this person? Or am I trying to control their outcome? Am I offering my presence? Or am I demanding a specific result? These questions take honesty and a little humility, because caring deeply does not give us the right to control another person's life, even when we believe we know better, even when our intentions are pure. Now let us bring this together with something hopeful. Setting boundaries does not mean caring less. Setting boundaries means caring more wisely. It means offering support without demanding a specific outcome. It means staying present without forcing control. It means trusting other people to walk their own path, even when that path looks different than what we would choose. This is not easy, especially with people we love the most. But this is where real mature caring begins. Caring that respects freedom. Caring that offers support without conditions. Caring that says, I am here for you, instead of, you must listen to me. So, here is a question to sit with. Is there someone in your life where your caring may have slipped into control? Is there a relationship where you could offer more freedom and still offer real support? Take a moment. Think about this honestly, because this small shift from control to trust can transform your relationships completely. Now let us move forward, because caring does not stop with individuals. Caring, when practiced in a healthy way, does not stay small. It grows, it spreads, it reaches far beyond our closest relationship. In the next chapter, we are going to explore something remarkable: how caring moves from the personal to the planetary. How one small act of conscious caring can create ripples that reach far beyond what we can see. Stay with me, because this next chapter shows us why caring matters so much more than we ever realized. Chapter 6. The Ripple Effect of Conscious Caring. Let us begin this chapter with a simple picture. Imagine a quiet pond. The water is calm, still, perfectly smooth. Now imagine picking up a small stone. You throw it into the water. What happens next? The stone hits the surface, and instantly rings begin to form. Small circles at first, then larger still. They spread outward, farther and farther, until they reach the very edges of the pond. One small stone, one simple action, and yet its effect touches the entire body of water. This is Dr. Nader's powerful image for caring. He calls it the ripple effect, and once you understand it, you will never see caring the same way again. Let us explore this idea together. Think about a single act of caring. Maybe it is small. A kind word to a stranger. A patient response instead of an angry one. A moment of real listening with a friend who is struggling. On the surface, this seems small. Almost insignificant. But just like that stone in the pond, this small act does not stay small. It spreads. Let us walk through how. Imagine you show real kindness to your child this morning. Instead of rushing them impatiently, you pause. You listen. You respond with warmth. Your child feels seen. Feels valued. Now think about what happens next. That child carries this feeling with them. Maybe they go to school, and because they feel calm and secure, they are kinder to a classmate. That classmate who may be having a hard day receives unexpected kindness. And perhaps that classmate goes home and speaks more gently to their own siblings. Do you see what is happening here? One small act of caring from you this morning has now touched multiple people. People you will never even meet. This is not imagination. This is how human connection actually works. We are not isolated individuals. We are deeply connected, like ripples in the same pond. Now let us take this a step further. Think about families. A family where caring is practiced consciously often creates a certain atmosphere, a feeling of safety, of warmth, of trust. Children who grow up in this atmosphere often carry it forward into their own future relationship, into their own future families. This is how caring becomes generational. One conscious parent can shape the emotional world of generations not yet born. That is the power of a single ripple. Now let us zoom out even further. Think about communities. Imagine a neighborhood where people genuinely care for one another. Neighbors checking in on each other. Communities supporting those who are struggling. This kind of environment does not happen by accident. It happens because individual people chose again and again to care. Small choices, small actions, repeated consistently. And slowly these small actions build something much larger. Trust, connection, a sense of belonging. This is the ripple effect in action. Now let us go even bigger. Let us think about society as a whole. Every major positive change in human history began with someone who cared. Someone who cared enough to speak up. Someone who cared enough to take action. Someone who cared enough to imagine a better way of living. These individuals did not change the world alone. But their caring created ripples. Ripples that reached other people who then created their own ripples, until eventually entire societies began to shift. This is how real change happens, not through massive singular events, but through countless small ripples spreading outward again and again. Now, here is something important to understand. Not every ripple is positive. Just as kindness can spread, so can negativity. Think about a moment when someone was rude to you. Perhaps you felt hurt, frustrated, and perhaps without meaning to you carried that frustration forward. Maybe you snapped at someone else later that day. This too is a ripple, but this one spreads pain instead of care. This is why conscious caring matters so deeply, because every single interaction we have becomes a ripple. The question is simply, what kind of ripple are we creating? Now let us bring this back to something personal. Think about your own day so far. Think about the small interactions you have had. A conversation with a family member, a message to a coworker, a response to a stranger online or in person. Each of these moments created a ripple. Some may have spread warmth. Some may have spread tension. This is not about guilt. This is not about judging yourself. This is about awareness. Because once you understand this ripple effect, you begin to see your own power differently. You begin to realize you do not need a massive platform. You do not need unlimited resources. You simply need conscious choices, repeated consistently. A kind word here, a patient pause there, a moment of real listening. These small choices are never as small as they seem. Now let us return to Dr. Nader's deeper insight. Remember from earlier chapters how caring connects to consciousness itself. If consciousness truly connects all of us in some deeper way, then our ripples may travel even further than we can see or measure. This is a profound thought. It means you're caring. This very day may be touching lives you will never know about. It means your choice to respond with patience instead of anger may be changing the trajectory of someone else's entire day. And that person's changed day may change someone else's day too. This is the true power of conscious caring. It moves from the personal to the planetary, from one small choice to ripples reaching further than we could ever imagine. Now, here is a question worth carrying forward. What kind of ripple do you want to create today? Not next year. Not someday in the future. Today. In your next conversation. In your next small interaction. Because that ripple is already waiting to begin. Let us bring this chapter together. Caring is never truly small. Every act of caring spreads outward, through families, through communities, through entire generations. Dr. Nader's image of the pond reminds us that even the smallest stone creates movement far beyond its starting point. And when caring is practiced consciously, its ripple does not stay personal. It becomes planetary. Now we arrive at our final chapter, because once we understand how powerful conscious caring truly is, the next and final question becomes, how do we live this way every single day? How do we bring everything we have learned into one complete daily practice? Stay with me, because our final chapter brings this entire journey full circle. Chapter 7. Living a Life of Conscious Caring. We have come a long way together. Let us take a moment to look back. We started by asking a simple question. What does it mean to truly care? We learned that caring is not just an emotion. It is a connection, a bridge between us and the world. We explored the science behind caring. How our brains and our nervous systems are built for connection. We faced an honest truth, that caring without boundaries can lead straight into burnout. We learned the importance of caring for ourselves first, not as selfishness, but as necessity. We uncovered the difference between caring and controlling, and why real caring always respects freedom. And we discovered the ripple effect, how one small act of caring can spread far beyond what we can see. Now we arrive at our final chapter. The question we must ask is this: how do we bring all of this into real life? Not just as an idea we understand, but as a way we actually live. Let us explore this together. Here is an important truth to begin with. Conscious caring is not one single formula. It does not look the same for everyone. Dr. Nader offers us a beautiful phrase to remember. Care in your way, in your measure, with your rhythm. Let us sit with this for a moment. Care in your way. This means your caring does not need to look like anyone else's. Some people care through words, through conversation, through deep, meaningful talk. Some people care through action, through cooking a meal, through fixing something broken, through showing up quietly and simply being present. Some people care through touch, a hug, a hand on the shoulder. Some people care through space, by giving someone room to breathe, room to process, room to simply be. There is no single correct way to care. Your way is valid. Your way matters. Now let us think about the second part. Care in your measure. This means honoring your own capacity. Not everyone has the same amount of energy to give. Some days you may have so much to offer. Other days you may have very little. And this is completely okay. Caring consciously means respecting your own limit. It means giving what you truly have, not forcing yourself to give more than you can sustain. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Now let us think about the third part. Care with your rhythm. Every person has their own natural rhythm. Some people need quiet mornings before they can show up for others. Some people need regular rest throughout their week. Some people care best in short bursts. Others care best through long, steady presence. Living with conscious caring means honoring your own rhythm, not forcing yourself into someone else's pattern, not comparing your caring to anyone else's, simply finding what works for you. Now let us bring all 7 chapters together into one simple daily practice. Let us walk through what this might look like. Start your day with a moment of stillness, even just a few minutes, a quiet breath, a quiet pause, a moment before the noise of the day begins. This connects you back to yourself. Next, check in with your own needs. Ask yourself simply, how is my energy today? What do I have to give? This is not selfish. This is self-awareness. Throughout your day, notice your interactions. Notice the small moments. A conversation, a message, a simple exchange with a stranger. Ask yourself quietly, am I responding with presence? Or am I rushing through this moment? When you feel yourself giving too much pause, remember the boundary we spoke about. Caring with limits is not less loving. It is more sustainable. When you notice yourself wanting to control an outcome, pause again. Ask yourself, am I offering support? Or am I demanding a result? Let people walk their own path. Trust them, even when it feels difficult. And throughout your day, remember the ripple. Remember that every small interaction carries weight. A kind word, a patient pause, a moment of real listening. These are never wasted. They spread, quietly, powerfully, beyond what you can ever see. At the end of your day, take one more moment of stillness. Reflect. Where did I care well today? Where did I struggle? No judgment. Just honest, gentle reflection. This simple rhythm, morning stillness, self-check-in, conscious interactions, healthy boundaries, evening reflection. This is what living a life of conscious caring actually looks like. Not complicated, not overwhelming, simple, repeated, consistent. Now let us end with the deepest message of this entire book. Caring is not just something we give. Caring is not just an action we perform for others. Caring is a way of living. It shapes how we see the world. It shapes how we treat ourselves. It shapes how we treat everyone around us. It shapes the ripples we leave behind long after we are gone. When caring becomes conscious, it stops being a burden. It becomes a source of meaning, a source of connection, a source of real, lasting fulfillment. So let us return to the very first question of this book. Who cares? Now you know the deeper truth behind this question. Caring is not weakness. Caring is not exhaustion waiting to happen. Caring done consciously, with boundaries, with self-awareness, with respect for others' freedom. Caring becomes one of the most powerful forces in your entire life. So, here is a final question to carry with you. Not just today, not just this week, but for the rest of your life. How will you choose to care? In your way, in your measure, with your rhythm. Because, in the end, caring consciously is not just something you do. It is who you become.